and welcome everyone. Today is a day that the sun is shining on all of us here, all of us dearly departed, all of us whose spirits live in this ground that we're on right now, who created this incredible place of history and this incredible place of emotion and this incredible place of love. And today we celebrate the serendipity of all that has happened here before us. So to add to Billy's prayer, blessed our God, Lord of the universe, who has sustained us and enabled us to reach this festive occasion. Amen. Amen. And you know, I am so full of incredible gratitude. I think gratitude is the word. All of you that are here today, this is our celebration. This is our opportunity to create something that's magical, magnificent, impactful, and of value to others. And the most fun part about this, we are all here as volunteers and as partners in this community together. And I couldn't be more thrilled to welcome all of you here today. And just to give you a little bit of historical perspective, and Dr. Lynette Edwards mentioned this earlier, 100 years ago, this property was under construction to be turned into Hockessin School No. 107C. And that is because it opened in 1921. And it was, how's that for serendipity? And it was also built by Pierre S. DuPont, whose foundation has supported our journey and who has put us over the edge to be able to have this groundbreaking today, along with the incredible generosity of the state of Delaware and the governor and the legislature and so many others that have been with us for our mission. And so, thank you. Thank you. And even more amazing is, think about this. How many people in their lifetimes have a chance to be a part of something where we're getting a chance to contribute to the greater good on a public scale together as brothers and sisters in this mission of creating greater diversity, inclusion, and social equity in the future? Think we're ready for that? And it's been 10 years since we began our journey here. 10 years. And it really began with Fred Sears and the Delaware Community Foundation, Josh and Cynthia Martin, Dr. Tony Allen, our Supreme Court Justice, Chief Justice C.J. Seitz, who can't be with us today, and also Judge, the late beloved Judge Leonard Williams, and Dick Christopher, and Billy Allen, and all of the folks at the Delaware Community Foundation that really supported us in that mission, and so many others just trying to name. And then along the way, we have found that we have had nothing but complete support wrapping around what we've done this entire time. And from a mission standpoint, I just want to express my sincerest gratitude on behalf of the Friends of Hockessin Colored School No. 107 to all of you. And I was wondering if our board members for the Hockessin School would please stand, if you can. And introduce Sharice Brewington Carr, Dr. Lynette Edwards, Bill Allen, Fred Sears, and is Dr. Ray Blackwell, Kiara Hill. Dr. Blackwell's in the back, and we also have many others who cannot be here. Along the way, we were invaluably supported with pro bono legal work from Richards, Layton, and Finger law firms. From Young, Conaway, Stargett, and Taylor, handled the closing. I can't help but mention one of our former board members who unfortunately passed away recently, Mr. Robert Fleming, Bobby Fleming, God rest his soul. We were at his service yesterday, and it was he and his wife Jean. His wife Jean was a student here. And also, I would like all of the former students of the school, if you could please either stand or raise and wave your hands. God bless you all. This is for you. What we've been doing, this is to honor your legacy, because it's not even conceivable to imagine what it must have been like for you to go to school here at a colored school. I mean, most people can't even imagine that there's a place called the Hockessin Colored School No. 107. And yet there is, and we're going to take that inspiration and that glory that all of you created for us, and we're going to turn it into something magnificent in the future with everybody's help. So it's just such an amazing blessing. Also, the Delaware State Chamber of Commerce has been a huge support. Cheryl and Danae are both here in the back. Thank you so much. And also, we've had incredible support from the Hockessin community, led by Representative or Councilwoman Janet KILPATRIck. And just to kind of give you a sense, we've been wrapped around by everyone here, and we're so excited to be able to break ground today and to actually begin the journey to walking the talk, because we've been talking for years and it's time to walk together. But we could not have done it. We have Krista Griffith, representative from our local representative, and also Senator Laura Sturgeon, who may not be here. And I don't know, is Deb Heffernan representative? Hi, Deb. Deb Heffernan, co-chair of the bond bill. Just a couple facts. We have raised the money through the state's generosity and through Longwood and through Artesian Water contribution and all the contributions of the African American Empowerment Fund and all the people at the Delaware Community Foundation that allowed us to raise the money, and Dick Christopher. And we raised the money that we needed to take every single step that we've needed to, and we were a 10-year overnight success. But it's been that tenacity that has really kept us going. It's been the bond that's been created by our board, but most importantly, it's been the inspiration from the students and from those who came before us, and the inspiration that we came up with our idea for the Center for Diversity, Inclusion, and Social Equity in 2019. And then look what happened in 2020. Serendipity at its best. And we also have the blessed memory of all of the members of Chippy Chapel, who are our inspiration. And Pastor Aaron Harris and Mrs. Harris are here with us today. There's just so many thanks. I apologize if there's anyone that I happen to miss, but I hope that's not the case. Just a couple of additional fun facts. December 14th happens to be my best friend and grandfather, Bill Feinberg's birthday today. He would have been 121 years old today. And he was my inspiration. And just a little serendipity, my grandfather and Hal Haskell and Collins J. Seitz, CJ's dad, were honored together by the National Conference of Christians and Jews in 1957 as their top award of the year, their merit award of merit. And here I am serving on the board with CJ and all of our friends to be able to do this. And we're groundbreaking on my pop's birthday. So this is one of those really, really special moments. So, And we also had incredible momentum. The momentum really began with the State Chamber article that they wrote about us, and that led to meetings with County Executive Matt MEYER and his team. And that's when we started talking about becoming partners with Newcastle County, which has been an incredible breakthrough and win behind our sales, to become the 250th park in the county system. And we're also in legislation to become a National Park Service affiliate site under Brown v. Board of Education. So we've been very busy, and the most exciting part about the groundbreaking is that if everything goes well, we're being told by EDIS, our general contractors, that we should be able to open the doors sometime in June or July of next year. Only thanks to all of you for your support, and with particular thanks to Governor CARNEY and the state legislature and all of the members of the Bond Bill Committee who just blew us away with your generosity. So thank you so much. So thank you. So now I'd like to introduce one of our board members, Dr. Ray Blackwell, and Dr. Blackwell is going to introduce our Governor CARNEY. So thank you all so much and welcome.
Good morning, Governor CARNEY. Oh, we'll do that again. Good morning.
Good morning.
Awesome. Governor CARNEY, elected officials, friends of Hockessin Colored School, and guests, welcome to our groundbreaking ceremony. The weather is cool, but my heart is full, warm, and thankful. And I did not rehearse this speech with Reverend Allen or Professor WILK. On May 17, 1954, the Supreme Court ruled that segregation in education had no place in American society. That decision was based largely on the work done here in the state of Delaware. I am thankful for the Buellers, Attorney Redding, and Judge Sykes for their foresight, wisdom, and courage. I can only imagine the horrors and abuses they faced as they paved a new frontier in America. Certainly, American society would look totally different had they not existed, and I would not be standing here today, without a doubt. How far we have come. We've come from being almost sold in a sheriff's sale to having one of the board members pay out of their personal account to cut the grass, to now being a park site, potentially being a national park site. And we are now breaking ground for a Center for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. So I am thankful for the Friends of Hockessin Colored School for their efforts in saving this historic place. We owe them a deep gratitude. I only joined the board recently, but the groundwork was laid long before I joined, and I'm just thankful that I can participate. It's heartwarming to speak to the students. Despite hardships and inequities, their stories are full of love, dedication, and hard work. You will have the privilege of hearing from one of them, Mr. SONNY, a little later on today. Their numbers are declining, and we are on a mission. And our mission is to have them walk through the door again. I am grateful for the students and for what they've taught me in my life, and for the opportunities that I've had because of them. I am thankful to the elected officials, both present and not present. Without you or them, we would not be standing here today. I am privileged to introduce our next speaker. He's a native Delawarean and has served the state and the citizens in many capacities. He helped us celebrate the Brown Redding Sites Day earlier in the year, and his contributions, both tangible and intangible, have meant a lot to me. I am thankful for his efforts on our behalf. Without further ado, I want to introduce my friend, my fellow Dartmouth College alum, and governor of the great state of Delaware, John CARNEY.
Thank you very much, Dr. Blackwell, particularly adding in that reference to our alma mater there, the Ivy League football champions this fall. Just for the record, anybody out there from Harvard, Yale, Princeton, if you need a work on your heart, you need to talk to Dr. Blackwell. I had prepared remarks, but as I was standing there and looking around, I decided to set them aside and really speak from my heart. It warms my heart to look around and see all of you here. And the message for me is, if we put our differences aside, we can do anything we want. I don't know about a 10-year overnight success. I only got 3 years left as governor, so we need more than that for this. And I can assure you, with the help of Representative Heffernan, who's here, chair of the Bomb Belt Committee, Representative Griffith, and our partnership with Newcastle County, we can do what needs to be done here at this amazing facility. I'd like to just make a mention, as Dr. Blackwell did, to the students that went to school here. Your resilience, your stick-to-itiveness, your love for your state and your country is an example to all of us. And it's an example that we can deal with the most difficult challenges that we have and achieve whatever we want if we stick together and stick with it. This is for you. And it's also for us. I remember when we were back here in the spring for the 67th anniversary of Brown versus Board of Education, we had a great speech by our now Chief Justice, talking about his father and the work of his father. Our Delaware case was the only case affirmed by the Supreme Court and Brown versus Board of Education. And so many people here, so many families here locally had a hand in all of that. But the thing that struck me the most as your governor that morning was a sign that one of the students held. If you remember, we had a group of students here. Darrell Green is here as the superintendent of Red Clay. Where's Darrell? In the back. And his students were here, and they were standing right over here. And there was one little girl who had a sign that said, "The past cannot be changed. The future is yet in your power." The future is in our power. I've been spending a lot of my time lately, including last night and tonight as well, visiting the school boards of the big Newcastle County school districts with an idea to improve the education for the children in our city of Wilmington, because we know that we can do better. We've been outreaching to members of the board, to the teachers, to members of the community, and we're engaging parents. We should be inspired by the work of this committee and what we're doing here today and bringing new life to this Hockessin School for the Colored School. I just, again, as your governor, we ought to be inspired to do more. It's our obligation to the past to better understand and reconcile the past, but our obligation and what we can do is for the future. And that future relies on our children. So to all of those who are making this possible, thank you. To our colored school graduates, thank you for being here. Thank you for your example. Thank you for resilience. And God bless you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Governor CARNEY. And most importantly, you have been such a steadfast supporter of our mission and have been so critical to getting us to this point. We're just so grateful and always will be. And thank you again. So next, what I would like to do is we have representatives from Senator Carper's office, AC Ofosu from Senator Carper's office. And we also have J.J. Francis from Senator Kuntz's office. I'd like to have you say hello. And AC, would you like to come up and, okay, we're good? And also, you're good? All right, well, thank you. We know that the one thing that we know is that the senators and Representative Lisa Blunt, Rochester, have been incredibly supportive and haven't missed one of our events. So the reason they're not here is because they have important business they're working on in Washington, D.C. Otherwise, we know where they would like to be. But they all sent me really wonderful notes, and they're here in spirit, as Senator Kuntz wrote to me yesterday, and we so appreciate. And just as a point of reference, Senator Kuntz's office and also Representative Jim Clyburn from South Carolina, they were the catalyst for the congressional legislation that will make the Hockessin School a National Park Service affiliate site under Brown v. Board of Education. So we're very grateful. And we're also, as the governor mentioned, we're incredibly grateful for the gift of our partnership with Red Clay School District and Dr. Tawanda Bond and Dr. Darrell Green, but most importantly, those amazing students of yours that Dr. Edwards and I and others have had a chance to meet and interact with. And even before the school is rebuilt, we have been out in the field working with our beautiful children here and being inspired by them. And so that's really been so much fun. So again, welcome. And with that, I would like to introduce our county executive, Matt MEYER. And just a couple words. Matt and Vanessa Phillips, who can't be here today, the CAO of the county. Vanessa and Matt have been incredible partners, along with Marcus Henry and along with Councilwoman Janet KILPATRIck. And we're just so thankful. And if you all remember, it was August of 2020 that we got together here for the signing ceremony for the county park. And that really began the momentum for us, along with the state chamber, for the momentum for us to be able to be where we are right now. So it's our pleasure to be partners with the county, and we welcome County Executive Matt MEYER. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, David, Governor. It's fantastic to be here. I appreciate David mentioning the birthday today of his friend's grandfather. It's actually my mother's birthday today. And so I broke from the celebrations to come to this celebration. And I was talking to my mom about it last night. And there's actually no better way for me to honor my mother and honor the things that my mother taught me than by making this the 250th park in your Newcastle County Parks system. I look around here, and pretty much everyone here is either someone who made today happen, someone who's going to build this thing, someone who's reporting on it, or someone who's going to help us in the future. So I just want to thank each and every one of you for being here. I was at a meeting of county executives last week in Washington. Our initial meeting was at Mount Vernon, George Washington's home outside Washington, a beautiful estate. There are about 50 county executives there from across the country, and we did initial introductions. And right after initial introductions, a county executive stood up unprompted, and she said, I just want to note that where we're holding this meeting is not only the home of the great general and former first president of our country, but it's also the home of a slave owner who did not free his slaves when he was alive. He did not free his slaves, as is often reported, upon his death, but he freed his slaves in his will upon his wife's death. And all of us sitting there who were in Washington to talk about stimulus funding and infrastructure funding and how to get more resources to our constituents got really uncomfortable. Immediately got uncomfortable. And immediately became reflective about who we are, who we've been, where we are, and where we're going. And it set the tone for 2 days of meetings that I think was really the appropriate tone. We're at an extraordinary time in our county's history, in our state's history, and in our country's history. We have a governor who is sticking his neck out like never before for the children in Wilmington. We have individuals here, too many to mention, who not only have stuck their neck out, not only dedicated their time and attention to addressing historic inequities and building a better future, but also have dug into their pocketbooks in significant ways to make today happen and so many other things happen to build a better future. I'm here today with a number of people from the county who I want to make sure to mention, who've been absolutely critical to us getting to this day and will be critical going forward to managing this piece of public land. I think Tracy Searles is here from the team, Bob Merrill, Kendall Summers, who I think is not here, Terry Casey, Marcus Henry, who recently left us in the county, have all been critical to getting us to this point. I know Brian Cunningham, my communications guy, is here. He's worried the weather's nice. I'll talk forever. So let me just close with this. 11 months ago, when the county councilman for this area, who once represented this area, was sworn in as the president of our United States, a poet stood up and she closed her poem. A woman named Amanda Gordon, who I think was 16 years old or something, 22 years old. She stood up and she said, "The new dawn blooms as we free it, for there is always light if only we are brave enough to see it, if only we are brave enough to be it." Let's take advantage of this opportunity to be it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Matt. And Tracy, thank you so much. And the Public Works team, you all have been amazing throughout our whole process. So we so appreciate it. And I want to introduce next Councilwoman Janet Kilpatrick, who goes back almost 10 years with us on our journey. I can remember sitting at Six Paupers, you and I and Dick Christopher many years ago, and we were saying, how are we going to do this? What's going to happen? How is this going to work? And since then, you have been nothing but steadfast, supporting, encouraging, motivating us to get to this point, and we're here. It's actually happening. So we're beyond delighted, and we're so grateful for all you've done to support us, Janet. Thank you.
Since I know there's a lot of cold toes out there, I'm going to be brief. Standing next to Representative Griffith, who has beautiful red shoes on, and her toes are absolutely frozen. When I look at the history of this building and of Hockessin, I look at it as if it's an ever-growing puzzle. Some pieces are bright and some have an undertone of gray. Today, we add a piece to that puzzle, and it's a bright and shining piece. Historically, this building and all of the people that have ever been associated with it have always been a viable part of this community. Over time, this building has been a school, a daycare, a senior center, and a community service center. Today, we see the beginning of a new community use, the creation of a center of diversity for inclusion and social equity. Our thanks go out to every person that has partnered to make this happen. On behalf of this community and of council, I thank you and look forward to being able to continue to work by your sides. Thank you all so much for coming today.
Thank you so much, Councilwoman Kilpatrick. And I also want to take just a moment. She's going to kill me, but I want my wife, Sharon, my rock and my inspiration, and my daughter, Aaliyah, are here. And So welcome. My wife Sharon is a teacher. She's been a teacher since before we knew each other and through now. She's got this amazing gift of being able to inspire and care more deeply, and the DNA certainly went through to my amazing daughter as well. But she's always kind of my anchor and inspiration. And during the 10 years that we've been working on this project, she would say to me, well, when you get done, what are you going to do with this place? And it was kind of like, that's a really good question. What's going to happen here? What's really going to be the impact and the outcome? And we started out by saying, well, of course, we have to memorialize the history of what happened here and honor the legacy of all the students who you see hanging on the wall, on the banner on the wall, and to take the spirituality of what happened with Shirley Beulah and Hilda Beulah and the Beulah family and the Lawyer Redding and Chancellor Seitz and all of the members of the community that led to this case being so pivotal to Brown v. Board of Education and being maybe the one case that actually got it to the U.S. Supreme Court because of a concept that we learned along the way from another board member, Fran O'Malley from UD Biden Institute, called percolation. So Fran coined a phrase that said, but for Beulah, there may not have been a Brown. And so we have this incredible monumental history behind what happened here. But during our journey, what we found was we couldn't just turn it into a museum where we would have artifacts and we would have things on the wall and people would come and there might not be another reason for them to come back again. We had to find that heartbeat and that impact. And I think it kind of sums it up in kind of a mission statement to be able to take a place that means so much to our history, for all of us to have the privilege of learning about and teaching all people how to be inclusive and accepting of others who are different than they are, is one of the greatest gifts that any of us can have in our lifetimes. And so this is an invitation from our board to everyone here to join and become an integral part of our journey going forward, because we want everyone involved, and there's no one whose talents, ideas, thoughts, suggestions, and efforts are not welcome into our mission going forward. So that is a constant. That's why we're here. And so, and the idea is nothing matters more than teaching people to live the golden rule and just to be nice to each other. That's it. Just be nice. Imagine that. Just be nice. Don't spew venom. Don't be unkind. Don't treat people wrongly. Don't judge. If we can just have that ability to change one human life or one human behavior in that way, then that's as good as it gets in life. And that's really been the takeaway from these 10 years, is what matters. What matters is we are all brothers and sisters together, and that we all deserve respect and niceness. And you know what? I love this saying, one of my favorite sayings. It's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. And so if you think about our mission, what's our mission? It is to preserve, tell, and share the history of what happened here. And thanks to the legislature, which is incredible kudos, this will be taught in the history curriculum in the Delaware public schools in the future. Number one, that's huge. To this point, 10 years, 99% of the people that we meet and tell them about this school don't even know what happened here. And these are people, including myself, who grew up in Delaware and had no idea what monumental role this place has in our future. Secondly, cultural competency. What is cultural competency? It means being able to have sensitive conversations like County Executive MEYER mentioned in DC, where you talk about horrible atrocities like slavery and other types of horrible human behaviors and bigotry and racism and discrimination and all of the things that we are all as a society trying to improve. So this place is also going to be a place, a neutral place of community conversations, a safe place about contemporary social issues. We're also going to train people and do diversity training workshops. We've got partnerships with Corwin, Sage, and Deep Equity Training, thanks to your support. We also have a partnership with Temple University, Fox School of Business, Center for Ethics, Diversity, and Workplace Culture, where we will be teaching organizations how to create DE&I and ES&G in their ranks. And then thirdly, we're going to be a place where people can celebrate the inspiration of what happened here. And then lastly, we're going to tackle, you heard me use this expression before, social infrastructure issues around the country. Affordable housing, education, healthcare, food security, entrepreneurship, opening up talent portals for everyone that has talent and isn't getting access to being able to have a runway with that talent and reach their full human potential. So we're going to optimize this piece of real estate, and we're going to optimize the human capital that starts with its history and goes forward into the future. So it's just an incredible honor to be able to be a part of that, and we welcome all of you into that process. And then now I would like to introduce our inspirer-in-chief, Mr. SONNY KNOTT, to come up and share some comments with us.
Thank you. Man, you're building me up. You're building me up. What a wonderful day. God has blessed us. He said, I want the 107 to stand on his own 2 feet. He's excited about it. So why shouldn't we be excited about this? Before I go any further, I want to introduce, if you allow me, I want to introduce my pastor and his lovely wife, the Reverend Aaron Harris. Reverend, raise your hand. And the students were introduced, but you don't know them by name. So allow me to give them by name. Pete, Leroy Peterson, raise your hand. My sister, I don't want to go too far and don't introduce her because she'll jump on me. My sister, Charlotte Emery. Charles Johnson. There you go. Lois Johnson. I want you to meet them because David said if his grandfather was living, he'd be 121 years old. Well, that's great, but I'm not far behind him. Not far behind. If you slow up, I'll catch him. But this 107 is very, very important to us. And I tell people, when you talk about the 107, don't you forget that C. That 107 C. I think the C is the most important part of that school because that was what we had to deal with. 107. I volunteered at Delcastle School. I've been there about 21, 22 years. And periodically, they give me the privilege of talking to the students. They'll bring in 3 or 4 classes and the teachers. And the teachers tell me, they said, Mr. Knotts, we've learned so much from you. I said, well, I was there when it was going on. I didn't get mine out of the book. But that's why this school means so much. You heard me talk about it. That one room, I tell the kids about the one room, the 6th grades, the used books. We never got new books. Teacher would have, we didn't have the computers and stuff like they got nowadays. We had to take the book and stand up and read. And she would say, James, you read page 3 and 4. I said, all right. I'm pretty smart. I can read 3 and 4. I read 3, I turned to 4, and it wasn't there. Because you see, we never got the new books. The new books went up on the hill to the white school. We got the used books. And back during that time, I don't know what they do now, but they would put your name in the back of the book. By the time we got the book, it had 4 or 5 names in it. And the names were the kids that we played with every day. And out of their houses every day. Eat whatever they had on the table, blackberry mush or whatever, that's what we ate. We shared it. But we couldn't go to school. We couldn't go to school. That's why we can't wait for this day. That's why this is so important to us. That's why the few of us that can make it here are here. I was trying to count of how many of us is left. I'm not that smart, but I think I can count the few that is left. And it's important. We struggle out with our canes, with our red Cadillacs. We get here. Hook or crook, we're going to be here. And on that day, when this school is refurbished and they have the opening, on that day, you see these 4 walls here? That's important. And the roof that ties it in is important. But the most important part of this building is that door. Is that door, that front door that we're going to march through on that day. The Lord let me live long enough. We're going to march through on that day. Charlotte's going through with a cane. Leroy's going, Lord's going to ride the red Cadillac through the door. But we're going, sorry, but we're going through that door. We're going through that door. God bless you. God bless you.
God bless you, Sonny. Wow. And that is why we can't wait to get started, and we're here for the groundbreaking, because we have to have Sonny and all the students walk through that door as soon as humanly possible. And that is why we are so grateful to everyone that allowed us to get to this point. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And we'd also like to thank EDIS and Architectural Alliance, our architects, and also Ted Williams, Kevin and Torin from Architectural Alliance, Ted Williams from Landmark Engineering. All of them were busy at work while we were celebrating Brown v. Board of Education Day. And thanks to the legislature, we had the capital to get the plans and approvals going when we needed to. So we're ready to have the groundbreaking, and we're also looking to partner with Winterthur Museum. Chris Strand, the new CEO of Winterthur. We've been talking about doing some wonderful things with his staff here on the property, and we just could not be more, and also the Hockessin Historical Society. And so thank you for being here as well. And our resident expert and lifelong friend, Darlene Amobi. Darlene, thank you for all you're doing to make our journey so rich. So with that note, I think we can begin the groundbreaking. And thank you all again.